Welcome back to the North Star Takes podcast with Jacob Liberta and Bailey Palicki. You have found our Sound Off segment of the week with hot takes and great debates. Before we get into that, please hit the subscribe button below, as well as give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter. So, Bailey, what is your Sound Off take of the week here?
It's not going to be a huge, shocker that I'm saying this, but I don't think Greg Joseph is going to be the opening day kicker for the Minnesota Vikings.
Now, believer in Greg the Leg?
No, this guy hasn't kicked in 2 years. He was on the Bucks practice squad all year last year.
Super Bowl champ.
Obviously, Dan Bailey was horrible last year. The Vikings won't be bringing him back. I don't think – is he even on a team right now? I don't know. The Vikings also have an undrafted kicker that they signed, Riley Patterson, from Memphis, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard he's been doing horrible in OTAs. Seen some stuff about it on Twitter.
Good stuff.
So I don't think the Vikings opening day kicker is on the roster right now. I think they're going to either sign somebody that's still a free agent, or there'll be a round of cuts coming out of training camp. And I think the Vikings will find their kicker there. I just don't. The options are not very good right now. And for a team that's trying to make a run this year and go kind of all in on this season, push their chips to the middle of the table. Are you really going to have that unstable of a kicking situation?
It's a little dicey.
Can we just finally figure out the kicking situation? It's just, I thought we kind of had it settled with Dan Bailey, and he fell apart in the second half of last season. Not that it mattered because we were bad anyways. I don't know. Can we finally just draft a guy or find an undrafted free agent that's actually good? Other teams are doing it all the time,
No, I get it. It's been a huge issue for years for us, ever since, especially in recent memory, that Blair Walsh debacle. But basically since then, it's been super unstable. And the only issue I have right now is that even if it's not Greg Joseph, probably shouldn't be Greg Joseph more than likely, but is there really a quick fix for us right now for this season even? I mean, I don't love the free agent options out there compared to Greg Joseph even.
No, I don't either.
So that's kind of sketchy. This probably needed to be addressed months ago, but it wasn't. So now we're kind of rolling the dice and just hoping we don't run into any of those situations where we're really banking too much on Greg Joseph. But you just have it in your heart that you feel like it's going to happen in a playoff game where you're going to need this guy. Greg Joseph did a big kick for you to really keep this huge season alive, which is very, very concerning. It
is concerning. It's just, I just don't understand, man. It's easy to sit there and say kicker's not a very important position, but it is. It will win and lose you games in some spots. So I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be the opening day kicker, and they need to figure out quickly who will be, because this is an issue.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of our biggest problems we have right now, because sometimes you just need kickers to ice a game and finish it off. And all the time you watch these Ravens primetime games, see Justin Tucker come out there, and you just know he's going to hit the kick, like last year in that big Monday night game against the Browns. Just time after time, this guy just hits big kick after big kick. But before he even does it, no matter how far out he is, you're like, oh, this is in, it's over. Yeah. And it literally happens every single time. It's that'd be so nice to have that. Obviously, you're not going to find Justin Tucker everywhere, because he's the best kicker in NFL history right now, statistically speaking, and probably just thinking about it logically. But it would be nice to find a guy that's even just middle of the road to above average or something.
Exactly. You don't have to be great, but just do your job. You can miss a few kicks, but don't miss a lot. Don't shank them.
Exactly. If they're money within 50, I can live with that. But
yes, me too. All right.
That's just the way it goes.
We'll table that conversation for later. I'm sure we'll have to discuss that more as training camp's going on. But
absolutely.
Liberta, what's your hot take for the week?
My hot take for the week, with all the uncertainty around the future of the Minnesota Twins, and who is not going to be on the roster come the beginning of August after that trade deadline.
Yep.
I'm saying basically this is almost like a parlay, but even if these guys don't necessarily get moved, I still feel like he'll find his way into this role. And I'm going to say Jose Miranda is going to be the everyday third baseman for the Twins after the trade deadline passes at the end of July.
Okay.
This guy, if you're not sure of who he is, definitely look him up. He has been tearing it up for Wichita ever since the season started, and he just recently got called up to the St. Paul Saints. And this guy, he's only played 6 games for the Saints now, and he's hitting .385, which is obviously a nice clip. And then in 47 games more substantially in Wichita, he was hitting .345. And this guy's just mashing everywhere he goes. And I just think it's a matter of time before you literally can't not bring him up. And especially with, let's say we move Nelson Cruz, which would probably be the first move the Twins would make as far as kind of moving towards planning for the future.
Yep.
And being that Nelson Cruz is 41, expiring contract, like it's going to happen, then you figure he is out of the picture. Then you feel like you have an aging Donaldson that I think will still be around because he's hurt now, so he's probably not going to be able to be traded midseason.
Yeah.
So then you maybe slide him into the DH role, and all of a sudden you have a hole at third base, and it doesn't seem like the organization's too fond of Miguel Sano right now. So
Nope.
I'm saying Jose Miranda, he's going to be that everyday third baseman because this guy, he can't be ignored. It's like Luis Ariz almost, where
very similar.
Maybe where you could get really lucky, and he's just kind of a middle of the pack prospect in your top 30, but all of a sudden he comes up and he's just hitting very well in the minors, and then it just translates into the big leagues, and all of a sudden you have yourself a great third baseman that you really weren't even counting on. So that'd be huge, and I'd at least like to see him get a look, especially if he just keeps mashing in AAA. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of a lost season already anyway, so why not give him a chance?
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic if that did happen. I mean, didn't the guy hit like 3 home runs in his debut for the Saints?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the grand slam, 3 home runs. I know, it was crazy.
But I think that would just accelerate the rebuilding process, if you want to call it that, maybe retooling.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can have guys like Larnick and Kirilloff and say this Jose Miranda, if you can have like 3 young guys just come straight from the minors and have an immediate impact on this team right away, that'll only accelerate your rebuild or retooling, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, they got to get some pitching figured out, which they have some young prospects on the horizon for that as well. But it'd be nice to be able to move on. As much as I love Nelson Cruz and I do like Josh Donaldson, it'd be kind of nice to move on from the old guard, bring in the young guys, let them play. Even like Nick Gordon, he's been fantastic, and I really didn't think he was going to be that good, but he's been awesome, honestly.
I'm pretty excited about him. I'm pretty excited about all our rookies. They've all flashed in one point or another this year, which is really encouraging. And that's the thing. I think our lineup is in pretty good hands for the future, but the only issue, like you mentioned, it's the pitching. There's just no depth there, and you really hope that some of these guys coming up soon are going to be the real deal. Like, obviously, it starts with Blasovich and Duran, but then you got guys like Winder, who came up to St. Paul recently with Miranda, and in his first outing, he went 5 2/3, and he only allowed 1 hit, which that's always nice, obviously. So I could also see him coming up very shortly as well. But for now, I'm just gonna say Jose Miranda. But
yeah, I like that. It'd be nice to see stuff like that in a lost season, like you said, especially after the trade deadline. If we're trading off a lot of our better players, so. At least that's something to look forward to in a lost season. You get to see the future of your team kind of developing before your eyes.
Exactly. I know that there's real value in getting these guys basically free experience here, these big league at bats, when you're really not counting on them to be good right away because the team isn't doing anything. So it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world if they don't hit very well. Like at first, you just want them to kind of come around and maybe shake out the kinks now, and then they come back next season. And obviously, they have a new perspective because they're coming back for year 2 in the big leagues. So
absolutely,
that'd be really nice.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for this edition of the North Star Takes podcast. Be sure to like this video and stay tuned for more content, and click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, as well as give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks again for watching.